Guys, I want you guys to, I need everyone to come to the reading corner with just yourselves for now. Later, I'm going to want you to go get your Post-it notes and your pencils, and later, when you do that, you're going to grab your books. But right now, I want you in the reading corner in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We all have friends. Raise your hand if you have friends. Everyone has friends, right? How many of you maybe have had a problem with a friend? Yeah, I know I have. How many of you have been able to solve that problem with a friend? A lot of you think that too. So I want to ask many of you, or any of you, raise your hand when you can think of a situation where you felt left out of a playtime with one of your friends. Samantha, how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel when you were left out of that playtime? You felt really alone, right? Well, in this book, we're going to read here in a few, this book is in that situation called Big Friends. So before we get into that, let's look at some words that we need to keep in mind when we dig deeper into this book. Our first one is characters. What do we think of when we see the word characters? Someone who is in the story and the story's about. Good job. What are some of the challenges that some characters might face? Yeah, challenges are things that characters will face throughout the story. So when we see, like you guys, any challenge that you may have with your friends that you're being left out of a playtime, this is a challenge you might see. Okay? Solution is something that you guys would figure out to solve that challenge. Okay? Evidence. What do you think evidence means? Maybe discuss this with your friends on what you might think evidence is. All right, we're going to come back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Evidence. What did we come up for? What would evidence be with these three ones above this word? Well, I think evidence would be is the different situations or challenges or different pieces that could solve the problem that the people are facing in the story. And then our character response. Our character response is how we are responding to those problems that the characters might face. And then our connections, how we connect ourselves to the story. Okay? So we are going to look at the three characters in this story, our Big Friends book, and see what challenges they face and how they solve them. Okay? When good readers are reading a story, we already know that in the opening pages we'll learn few key things, okay? It helps to remember to be the lookout for answers to questions. And yesterday we said readers are asking who. And we're going to continue thinking about that. Who the characters are And then we're going to also link what problems they face. Okay, guys? So let's get started reading. So, big friends. Two cardboard boxes, big enough to sit in, hide inside. Bert and Ethel take them out each day, climb up Sudden Hill, and sit in them. Now, before we move on, let's think about our Post-it notes. Let's think of our characters first for our Post-its. For our Post-it notes, what are the characters that we have found out about so far? Bradley? Yeah. We have Bert. So we're going to write character on our Post-it note. And then after that, we're going to write our first character on there. Each character is going to have their own Post-it note, guys, okay? So our first one is Bert. There's Bert, okay? We're just going to put him right on our sheet, okay? And then what was our other character that we found? We found Etho or Ethel, however you guys want to say it. Ethel. We're going to put them right on there, okay? Okay, there's our Bert and Ethel. And what do Bert and Ethel like to do? What hill do they like to climb up on? Sodden Hill. So they like to go up with their boxes, and they like to play together on Sodden Hill. Okay. Sometimes they're kings, soldiers, astronauts. Sometimes they're pirates, sailing wild seas and skies. But always, always, they are big friends. So what do they like to do? What do they like to do, guys? What are some of the things that they're doing together? Sometimes they're soldiers. What else? Good job, Ben. Sometimes they're astronauts, and sometimes they're pirates. Yarg. Now, they're sailing, running, leaping, flying. They're chatter and giggles. Him and Ethel. So, can we guess who the main character is? Who the main person? Is it Bert or Ethel? Who do you think that might be the main character? Carter? You think Bert is? I think maybe you're right. Their silences and watching small movements in the valley, feeling big as giant kings. Bert loves their 2x2 rhythm. So they're pretty good friends, aren't they? All's right with the world right now, isn't it? Right? And then, one Monday, it's cramping cold. Brr. They meet another box carrier. Who wants to join them? This tiny boy's called Chew. He's watched Bert and Ethel every day and finally found a big enough box and courage to ask if he can play too. Now, what did we notice on this next page? We have a new character, so we need to get another post-it note out and write what our other character is. William, who's our new character? It's Shu. So we're going to write character. In class, what's our character's name again? Shu. So whenever you come across a new character, you're going to write it down in your post-it note. We're going to write down our post-it note, and we're going to just leave it right on there, okay? Leave it on our worksheet. So we have Bert, Ethel, and Shu. Some two crazy cool kids. So he's been watching. What has he been doing? Yeah, he's been watching. He's been watching Bert and Ethel almost every day now, and noticing on what they're doing. They're having a lot of fun together. So let's see what else they do. What can we already tell before I read this? What can we already tell? What might be a problem here? Yeah, we notice that Bert's off to the side here. That might be a problem. Ethel smiles and says, "Sure!" And so the three sit in their boxes, watch one kestrel and two lost clouds. So Ethel is pretty excited that a new friend has come into the group, and all three of them are playing together now. Sometimes they're dragon slayers, side-by-side house dwellers, and skyscraper dancers. But Bert feels like a stranger. So who's being left out in this situation? Bert is. Bert's being left out of the whole entire thing, which is kind of sad, huh? One night, Bert smashes his box, stamps on it, rips it into bits. His dad shouts something flat from the front room about being quiet, and that's enough. Bert stops going up Sudden Hill. He's given up. He feels so left out that he is wanting to destroy everything he has in front of him. Do you think this is a challenge that he's facing, guys? Yeah, this is a challenge that Bert is facing. So let's pause for a second. You guys help me out. We're going to get our post-it note, and we're going to write down something that Bert is facing. And we're going to write it down and put it right underneath his name on the piece of paper here. So what's something he's facing, Samantha? Yeah, he's facing being left out of with his friends. So we're just going to write being left out. And we're going to write a challenge at the top. So we have our challenge and being left out. And we're going to place it right underneath there. So far, do you think Ethel and Shu is facing a problem? I don't know. Let's keep going. Ethel and Shu stop by sometimes. Bert avoids them. Instead, he stays at home, mostly drawing pictures. Two boxes side by side. But he misses Ethel. He misses their cardboard castles on Sudden Hill. So, are we seeing any challenges that Ethel and Shu are facing? You don't think so? What is Bert doing to these guys? What's he doing to them when they're trying to come and communicate with him? Yeah, he's shutting them out. So do you think this is a problem or a challenge that Ethel and Shu are facing? Maybe. Let's just write that down to keep that in mind, okay? That Ethel and Shu are being left out of their group, okay? Wrong side. Trying to play with Bert. So our challenge for Ethel and Shu is trying to play with Bert. So when they're doing that, that's their challenge that they're facing. So is Bert wanting to play? No. What's he doing in his room? He's drawing. He's just trying to ignore his friends. So right now we have Bert. His challenge is being left out. And then Ethel and Shu, their challenge is trying to play with Bert. But Bert doesn't want to play with them. Okay? Those are our post-it notes so far, okay? One day, a knock on the door. He hears Shu's voice. "We made you something. Come out." All Bert can see as he peeks from the curtain is a box. It's much, much more than a box. Are we coming to our solution here, guys? I think so. It's got bright, waving things attached to it like huge kites. It's got colors. It's got sound. It's got wheels. Pretty cool. A huge box on wheels, and they call Mr. Climb Fierce. Is hauled up Sudden Hill. It's amazing, an incredible monster creature box thing. Pretty cool. So what did they come up with? Before we move on, what might be a solution that they had come up with? Yeah. Our solution is, Ethel and Shu made a box thing. For who? For Bert. So we'll place that right at the bottom, kind of in the center, because it all entails everyone. Both Ethel, Shu, and Bert. Okay? It's a supersonic rocket blaster, a triple jet transformer of sparkling glitter king. It's even got boxes inside. One with cookies, one with lemonade. Bert likes Shu. Shu is kind. Shu is funny. Shu is daring and brave. Has his mind changed? Has Bert's mind changed about Shu once he really got to know him? Yeah. I want you guys to think. If you can make a connection with an experience that you might have had that is like Bert's. Think of a new friend that you may of a friend that you may have met, and you were afraid that that they were going to take away your current friend, but you found out this person's pretty cool. I want to be friends with them too, and I want to share this friend with my friend that I have right now. Bert loves their time together, their etho shoe birdiness. He loves their 3x3 rhythm. It's new, and it's all good. All right, guys. So let's review our post-its. Okay? This is what I'm going to want you guys to do during your independent time. I'm going to give you some time to read through your book and find your characters and whatnot. But what was our 3 characters that we had in our story? We had Bert, Etho, and Shu. Okay? Thomas, what was some challenges that Bert had faced? Yep, he was being left out of his group of friends. So what did Bert do when he was being left out? Carter? He went home. And what did he do when he got home? He destroyed his box. Yeah. What is a challenge that Etho and Shu faced? Ben. Yep. Etho and Shu faced trying to play with Bert again. And our solution was Etho and Shu wound up. They made a box on wheels. And Bert, what did Bert think of it? Yeah, he wanted to play with it. So he joined back in with Shu and Etho, and his problems were solved. His challenge found a solution. His solution was solved by Etho and Shu making the box on wheels. And they got to share it. So, and this box on wheels helped Bert get to know Shu and be able to rekindle his friendship with Ethel. Okay? So let's look at the story. Did Ethel and Bert allow Shu to play with them? Yeah. Ethel and Shu were allowed to play with. Ethel let Shu play with them because what did Shu come up Sudden Hill with? He came up with a box. He came up and he asked to play, and Ethel let him play. Bert is faced with a challenge. His challenge was he got left out. Yeah, he got left out of his friend Ethel. And I want you guys to think about this when you go onto your books. I'm going to be letting you guys go here soon, okay? So, what did Shu and Ethel do to get Bert to come back and play with them? Yeah, they did. I'm going to I want you guys to grab these 3 things. And I want you to go in your locations in the classroom and start reading your own books. I'm going to give you, I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes, and then I want you to come back and sit down. Okay? But here are things that we need to have before we go sit at our reading spots. Okay? We need Post-its, a pencil, and then you need to go to your box and choose a book from there. Don't spend too long, guys. Don't spend too long picking a book. Just choose one and go sit down with your tools. Okay? Remember, don't spend too long on this. You want as much time to read and be able to write down your Post-its. Now, remember, when you come across the character, you want to make sure you write it down. Write the names down on each individual Post-it note. Okay? And then when you come across a challenge they might have faced, write it down on a Post-it note and place it underneath their character's name. So like with Bert, when he faced being left out with his friends, we put it underneath his name. Okay? And then once you get to the end of the story, write your solution. How did they solve that problem? How did these group of kids solve it? Okay? And then when you come back, make sure you have your Post-it notes with you, your book, and then your reading buddy with you to discuss your book with you. Okay? We'll come back in a few minutes. I'm going to set my timer, and we'll get back. All right, we're going to come back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, come sit back down, guys. Now that you're with your reading buddy, make sure you're with your reading buddy right now before we really get started. All right, now that you're with your reading buddy, here are some questions that we need to go over with your reading buddy, okay? What characters did we find in the book? These should be on your Post-it notes, okay? What challenges did they face? The challenges that we have on our Post-it notes again, okay? And then how did they solve these challenges? That's our solution. Solution should be at the very bottom, okay? So what challenges did they face, or did we find? Or what characters did we find? What challenges did they face? And how did they solve those challenges? What was their solution? Okay, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to go through those, and then we'll come back and then wrap it up. All right, now that we're back, Tracy, why don't you come up here and share what you have for your characters? So your characters were, okay, what was your book first of all? Okay, the most magnificent thing. Who were your characters? A little girl and a dog? Super job finding those. That's awesome. Now, what were some problems? Samantha, Tracy was your reading buddy. What were some problems that the little girl and the dog faced? in the most magnificent thing. Okay. So the little girl was trying to make something, and her problem is that she couldn't quite get it right. She got frustrated. Yeah, she got frustrated and she gave up. And her dog, what was the solution that the dog had? Okay. To have him go on a walk and then come back to it. Did that help? Did the walk help the little girl? Yeah, that's really cool. So did she end up making a most magnificent thing? She did. What did she end up making? She made a scooter for her dog and her. That's pretty cool. Now, awesome job today, guys. I want you guys to hold on to those Post-it notes, and we're going to dig in a little bit more deeper later on, okay? Hold on to those. Stick those in your boxes with your books. Make sure you have that folder in there and stick those Post-it notes in there. And we'll wrap it up next time.